Welcome to Studio Movie Recap. Ready for another quick rundown of an awesome movie? Let's dive right in, and if you enjoy, don't forget to like and subscribe for more recaps. Married couple Dodge and Linda receive this grim news over their car radio, but Dodge remains unfazed, commenting only that they missed their highway exit. Linda, fed up with his indifferent demeanor, leaves him right then and there. With the countdown to humanity's end underway, people worldwide scramble to tick items off their bucket lists, planning various ways to spend their final days. Street signs advertise unique services like last-day meetups and even mercenaries for those unable to wait for the end. Yet Dodge has nothing notable to hold on to, so he continues his monotonous routine. With 21 days remaining, Dodge still goes to an eerily empty gym. On the gym TV, he sees an update stating that cell services are down, and water and power will soon follow. Dodge drives to his office, facing heavy traffic from everyone fleeing the city for more scenic locations. At work, Dodge finds only a handful of coworkers have shown up. His clients call with bizarre questions about insurance policies, asking if they cover worldwide cataclysms, and management even offers promotions due to absentees, though no one takes the offer. Returning home, Dodge notices his mailbox is, as usual, empty. He also sees his neighbor Penny storm out of her apartment, having just split with her boyfriend, Owen. Inside his apartment, Dodge finds his weekly cleaner Elsa still tidying up. He tries explaining she doesn't need to come back due to the circumstances, but she takes offense, thinking she's been fired, so he retracts the suggestion. That night, Dodge watches the news, learning that all airline operations have ceased, except private planes which experts don't recommend due to risks. Before going to bed, Dodge spots a spider in the bathroom and initially prepares to kill it but ultimately decides to let it live. That night, the spider crawls across his face. The following morning, Dodge wakes up with numerous spider bites. At work, a colleague jumps from a building, landing on Dodge's car, leaving him shaken. A week later, with just 14 days left, Dodge attends an end-of-the-world party hosted by his friend Diane, where her teenage son argues with his parents before storming off. Her husband, finally relaxed, offers Dodge a cigarette from his prized stash, and Diane remarks she's not surprised Linda left Dodge, as she never seemed happy with him, a revelation that shocks Dodge. Diane insists Dodge shouldn't face the end alone, even suggesting a date. When Dodge declines, Diane's husband assures him he won't truly die alone since the world is going down with him. As the party gets underway, Diane introduces Dodge to Karen, who flaunts her rarely used finery and awkwardly tries to converse with him. During dinner, guests discuss their final plans, with Karen mentioning she wants to spend her last days with someone special while giving Dodge flirtatious glances. As the party intensifies, Karen dances and keeps eyeing Dodge, who tries to ignore her. A friend advises Dodge that standards no longer apply. Every man, regardless of looks, has a shot. He suggests teaming up with Dodge to pursue Karen, but Dodge refuses. Soon fireworks light up the night, and people indulge in illegal substances, pushing Dodge to retreat to the bathroom. Diane checks on him and surprises him by trying to kiss him, but Dodge turns her down, reminding her she's married. Diane brushes this off, saying marriage doesn't matter anymore. Exhausted, Dodge heads home early, reflecting on a photo of his high school sweetheart Olivia and playing the harmonica until he hears a woman crying. It's Penny, who Dodge invites inside after learning she missed her final flight to the UK and can't be with her family. He shares his cough syrup mixed with vodka, while she offers him some pot, which he declines. Penny explains that smoking helps with her hypersomnia, a condition that causes her to sleep deeply, even during doomsday. Together they watch TV, eventually falling asleep on the couch. The next morning, Penny sleeps soundly, even as Elsa vacuums around her. Dodge tries pinching her nose, but she doesn't stir until he plays his harmonica, finally waking her up. They go downstairs, and Penny hands Dodge a pile of old mail mistakenly delivered to her over the years. She had saved it, intending to return it if she ever saw him. The letters reveal that Linda, whom Penny assumed was Dodge's roommate, had a boyfriend. Furious at Linda's infidelity, Dodge trashes her belongings before grabbing a bottle of blue liquid and heading to a park, where he drinks until he blacks out. He wakes up with an abandoned dog tied to him and a note reading sorry. Now with 12 days left, Dodge brings the dog home and notices people around him getting increasingly aggressive, with fights, fires, and looting breaking out. While organizing his mail, he finds a letter from Olivia that says she never stopped thinking about him, calling him the love of her life but warning him not to seek her out. Suddenly, rioters break into his building, and Dodge quickly escapes with his dog, letter, and harmonica. He heads to Penny's apartment, where Owen confronts him, suspecting he's involved with Penny and angrily punches a wall. Dodge ignores him and wakes Penny, who packs her prized records despite the chaos. Owen uses her as a shield to protect himself when rioters start shooting, and when they finally find her car, Penny struggles with parking. After an argument, Dodge suggests he knows someone with a plane who could fly her to the UK if she helps him leave the city. Penny finally maneuvers the car free, leaving Owen behind. The next day, they run out of gas. Dodge, blaming Penny for ruining his life by delaying Olivia's letter, snaps, prompting her to promise she'll reunite him with Olivia. As they hitchhike, a man named Glenn offers them a ride. Glenn talks incessantly about his life, sharing that he learned he had 6 weeks to live just before the asteroid news broke. Glenn's story raises Dodge's suspicions, especially when he notices digging tools in the back of the truck. Eventually, Glenn stops for a bathroom break, inviting Dodge to join him, which Dodge declines. When Glenn returns, he misinterprets Dodge's blank expression, believing he's a hitman hired by Glenn to take him out. Dodge denies this, and Glenn apologizes, laughing until he's suddenly shot by an unseen mercenary. After burying Glenn, Dodge and Penny continue in Glenn's truck, stopping at a roadside diner called Frenzy's for a meal. The staff, who have been heavily smoking, enthusiastically greet them and serve up creative dishes for both them and the dog. As they eat, Penny surprises Dodge by telling the waiters it's his birthday, prompting a round of happy birthday and a cake. Penny joins a conga line, and as the party turns increasingly wild, Dodge and Penny make a quiet exit. In the truck, they share a moment of connection and eventually sleep together. Dodge, feeling self-conscious about their age difference, tries to apologize, but Penny insists she chose him. While driving, they're pulled over by a police officer. Penny argues about the futility of traffic rules now, but Dodge insists on cooperating. They end up arrested, joining a man in jail who's been taken in for disturbing the peace with a doomsday sign. Penny feels she's failed Dodge by not finding Olivia sooner, but Dodge comforts her, admitting he was unhappy long before meeting her. They fall asleep to the sound of Dodge playing the harmonica. The next morning, a new officer takes over and releases everyone, though Glenn's truck has been impounded. Penny remembers an ex, Spec, lives nearby, so the officer drives them to his place. Spec, a former military man still in love with Penny, offers her a satellite phone to call her family, letting her hear their voices and speak to her baby niece for the first time. While Penny is occupied, Spec tells Dodge that only Penny can stay in his shelter. After a conversation, Penny chooses to borrow a car instead, promising Spec she'll return it. On the road again, they eventually locate Olivia's childhood home, though no one answers the door. Penny breaks in to allow Dodge closure. Inside, he finds a letter from Olivia but leaves it in the mailbox without knocking, explaining to a bewildered Penny that he no longer needs to see her. Their argument almost causes a crash, and they end up on a beach where a baptismal ceremony is taking place. The touching scene inspires Dodge and Penny to join the beachgoers for a picnic, sharing a final kiss and enjoying the day together. Later, Dodge reveals that Frank, the man with a plane, is his estranged father. Penny gives Dodge time alone with Frank, who apologizes for past mistakes. Together, the three of them share dinner, and Dodge and Frank play harmonica in a touching reconciliation. After Penny falls asleep, Dodge carries her to the plane, confessing his love as Frank flies her back to the UK. Dodge returns home to find a note from Elsa, reminding him of her regular visits. Realizing how much he cares about her, he tells Elsa to come back next week, although they both know there won't be another. Later, as Dodge watches the final TV broadcast, the anchorman bids a heartfelt goodbye before the signal cuts. Feeling melancholy, Dodge goes to Penny's apartment, playing her records and reminiscing. Suddenly, he hears a familiar bark. It's Penny, who returned mid-flight. They hold each other as the world nears its end, lying together in bed and sharing their love as the asteroid hits.